Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another video on this channel. Happy Black History Month. Happy Black History Month, the shortest month of the year. But I digress. In honor of this month happening and me being my first week as a locked baddie and just feeling the vibes of my ancestors, okay? I thought about how I'm like on this channel, I've told a few story times of growing up PWI, which, if you don't know what that means, predominantly white institution, which means the schools you went to, the area you grew up in was majority white people, okay? Either as a person of color or as a black person. Me personally, hello, I'm a black woman. Um, I'm light skinned. A lot of people might assume I'm biracial, but I'm not. Both of my parents are black. Okay. I'm a black woman who grew up PWI. All the schools I went to, the area I grew up in, I'm from Southern California, by the way, but Southern California is still very broad. There's different neighborhoods. I grew up with mainly white and Mexican counterparts. I was definitely the minority, okay? There was a couple of us, but it was a couple, and it wasn't giving very sisterhood, brotherhood. And if you grew up PWI as a person of color or as another black person, you already know what I mean. The stories, the comments, the microaggressions that you deal with growing up. I've told a couple story times on this channel, as in one of my videos titled "They Told Everybody My Dad Was in Jail." Another one called "He's a Weirdo." Just check out my story times playlist. You will find them. They're both from summertime, June, July. You'll find them. And I'm like, in honor of Black History Month, why don't I just talk about this? Because I know this will land with my community. I know there's other people who can relate. And even if you can't relate, I think it can just be eye opening to hear some of the absolutely crazy things that Black people have to deal with. So let's get on. Like I'm trying to laugh the trauma off. Okay. I remember in middle school, this one time I was minding my black business in class, right? In class. And I knew this guy, right? It was this white guy, and he was gay. Is this white gay man in middle school who I had class with, who I was cool with, right? And this was the era of when I like got social media, so I was just following people I know and I was posting and stuff like that. I remember I was just minding my business in the friend group, y'all. And why is this white man gonna ask me, um, why don't you like sound black? Like why don't you like talk black? Out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. And of course I'm the only black person around. We're in our all white friend group. I'm just like, when he said that, I'm just dumbfounded. Everybody else just gets quiet. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? He was like, well, you don't use slang or like cuss and stuff. Like you kind of do. I see like on your Instagram, but he's like, yeah, like you don't like talk black like when you're here or really at all. Y'all, I did not know what to say. I did not know what to say. Like, I feel like I was just in shock and so confused. Like, if anyone else has grown up PWI or any kid, just being a kid and not being able to like process stuff or even know how to stand up for yourself in those ways, I think I was kind of just like, I mean, I think I do. Instead of cussing him out and saying, why are you a white person asking me why I don't talk black? How do you even know how black people talk with your white ass? Instead of saying that, I was just, I was just,
I know about white people too. Like when they talk, they say the whole word like this.
yeah, that one was crazy, y'all. And I feel like they're only gonna get crazier from here. So let's move on. So I remember one time I was having this conversation with one of my friends, and anytime I'm prefacing like somebody's race or a specific detail about them, I'm saying it like because it matters. Just like when I said he was like a white gay man, why I mentioned he was gay. It's like because the way he said it was like kind of sassy, because he was like for the girls. Like that's why I mentioned it. Before this next story, as I said, I grew up around a lot of whites and Mexican people. So I had like a lot of Mexican friends. I have a lot of Mexican girlfriends to this day, right? But I remember in high school, I was friends with this one specific Mexican girl. Again, if you're a black person or person of color who grew up PWI, these things just be coming these things just be coming out of nowhere. Cause again, I can't tell you what we were talking about that warranted this girl to say this. Like, I remember we was just talking for real. It was just a regular conversation. And then I remember out of nowhere, she just started telling me about how much her grandma hates black people. And you know what I'm saying? There are some instances where this is valid to bring up. Okay. If you're a person who's trying to protect your black friend because you know your family is racist or something like that, you're trying to warn them, you're trying to explain, like if they want to come over or something like that, valid, valid, right? Or if you're like expressing the like frustration or whatever, there's like times to bring it up. I remember this girl just brought it out of nowhere, and I feel like the way she was explaining it to me, like it was like a joke to her. It was like, oh my god, like grandma's so racist. So yeah, I remember she just started talking about her grandma and how much her grandma hates black people, and how they went to a movie, and there was like an ad with Kevin Hart, and she got like hella mad and like was just visibly frustrated and making comments, and I was just like, okay. And then she proceeded to go on and on how like, yeah, like she really hates black people, but like I think like it'd be fine like if you came over, and like I think she would like you because like you're like my close friend, and she mostly hates like the men, like not the women as much. Is that supposed to make me feel any better? I don't feel any safer. I don't feel any safer. I don't feel any safer that she hates my brothers, but she would like me a little bit better. Hmm? Like, girl, what are we talking about? This was another girl that I remember would just like say really weird comments sometimes. Like, I remember one time she was around me and another light skinned black girl, and she had like a crush on a black guy, and she was like, oh, like, oh my god, like, so cute. Like, what if we had like light skinned babies like you guys? First of all, like I said, I'm not biracial. And also, what if you ended up with that black man and you had dark skinned kids with 4C hair who looked black AF, and it literally shouldn't matter? Because why do you even, what? Why do you even want light skinned kids? Why do you even give, and mind you, her and this dude weren't even dating. Like that's really what like gets me about fetishization. Rhetoric like that is like really problematic, because I was like, she was saying it getting all excited, like, girl, first of all, why are you even thinking about that? But then again, I'm like, it's like the non-black women who fetishize black men and fetishize black mixed children are so weird, because like I said, they always be talking about the hair and the light skin and the colored eyes, or like I said, the babies could look predominantly black and they will still be just as cute, but they don't even deserve a mom like you, because why are you even talking like that? So one thing that I found that was so hard, mind you, like I definitely had my community when I grew up PWI. I still always had like black friends, a couple. It just wasn't a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? Like I had some. But one thing about having a lot of friends that don't look like you or can't relate to you is sometimes again, it's about that relation. I remember in high school, y'all, see one thing, I don't understand those black people who like date outside their race or swear like I only do this because I'm just a product of my environment and I just blah, blah. Mind you, there's nothing wrong if like that's what you do. I'm just personally one of those black people who only dates black people, and I've only ever like had black partners. But I remember in high school, even though I grew up PWI, okay, like yeah, when I was a kid, I was probably crushing on Troy Bolton and stuff like that. But like, it's like when you grow up as a black person, you get a peace of mind. Like, I was like, every time there was like a new black boy at the school, I was like, like y'all. When I look back, I'm like, literally all those new guys were ugly. What was I doing? but I was just so excited for community and for like it to be someone my type. So I remember in high school, this one guy transferred to our school, and like I was friends with him, and this girl I knew was also friends with him. He was just a friendly guy. And I was really crushing on him, and I wanted to know if he crushed on me too. And one day, one of my friends, who, can you guess, was not black, she came to me and she knew I had a crush on him. So she sent me a screenshot of like this thing. Mind you, I'm pretty sure at this point, me and this guy were at that point where like we weren't dating, but we like both had made it clear that we liked each other, like told each other we liked each other. Everyone thought we had a thing. And the girl I was really close with post, y'all know in high school where you post like random this or that, this or that, like with the little Instagram polls. I remember she put like smash or pass on her poll. And like y'all know, boys in high school are dumb. Their brain is the size like, how are you gonna know me and you like each other? Know I'm close with this girl, and she sent me a screenshot that she put like a smash or pass one, and he pressed smash. Y'all, when I tell y'all, it was literally like early in the day. I didn't even have time to greet. Like y'all, as a black woman, this is what I'm saying. Where the relation is really hard sometimes because I'm like, that hit. Okay, because I'm like, first of all, it's just dumb, like boy logic in general. I was like, why would you do that? That's so mean when you know we like each other and you know I'm close with this girl. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But again, it's just like it hits deep as a black woman when you constantly see in society, constantly see in your real life that you're always, often, never first choice. And that's how I always felt in high school. I was like, there's always, like, and mind you, any girl of any race can feel this way, that you're not ever someone's first choice or like have your insecurities. But for a black woman, when you're literally shown and told that your whole life that you're always, it like really hits deep. And I remember like I was like just texting my friend about it, a little bit on the verge of tears, because I was like, why am I never anyone's first choice? Like, why would he do this? Like, I'm never anyone's first choice. This hurt. And I remember the girl I was close with was being so insensitive, and she was just like, Alicia, like, it's not that big a deal to you. Like, that's what I'm saying. She couldn't see it from a black woman perspective. Like, she of course was like, yeah, he's stupid, why would he press that on my page? But she was just like, what do you mean you're no one's first choice? Like, that's not true. Like, you're being dramatic. Like, why are you just saying you're never? Girl, I'm not being dramatic, it's the truth. It's the truth for me and for my existence. And I was like, she didn't get that. I remember her, like, she was just so invalidating to my feelings, and it like really pissed me off. Cause like, no, girl, you don't get it. You don't get it. You're not a Y'all, speaking of that feeling, why did I just remember another story from this other transfer guy who picked me last? Y'all, it's so funny sometimes talking to people who care about us, and also just like I said, for any woman having like that post high school adult glow. Because I literally remember like I was talking to my man the other day, and I was like showing him my high school yearbook, and he was just saying how the pictures are so cute. He was like, oh, you used to get hella niggas in high school. Like, I know hella niggas was on your line. No, they weren't. Did you forget I'm a nick in PWI? Like, what the fuck? I was literally like, babe, absolutely no one was on that. And if they were on that, they were on that silently. I'm not gonna say like no one ever tried to get at me. I did talk to boys here and there in high school, but I'm like, it was never serious. It was never constant attention. It was never attention from who I want. As a woman, we can all relate to that. Like, boy, what? I literally remember this other year in high school, this guy transferred to my high school, and he was black, and he's from a different state, and he's a basketball player, and I was like, need that. And he was actually cousins with my homegirl. And so like, me and my homegirl would just be like like chopping it up, like she knew how to crush on him, like hint hint like I'll be at my homegirl's house, and like I would like flirt with him or whatever. And so my homegirl, who was basically trying to wingman for me, our one time she gave me the scoop, and I was like, what's the skip? Like, we always say hi to each other, and sometimes we have like conversations in Snapchat and whatever. And she was like, yeah, like, he, okay, well, I brought you up, Like he says he thinks you're cute, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, period, period. And then she was like, ah, yeah, girl. But so he's saying he's interested in this one white girl, and then he's also interested in this one Mexican girl. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna see what's up with them first, and then maybe I'll try to get at Alicia. What? Y'all like, see, this is something where I'm like, almost any girl can relate to this, but it's like, what is wrong with men and the way they fix their mouths to say anything like that? I was like, are you joking? Are you joking? And like back then it hurt my feelings, but like it wasn't as disrespectful as it just sounded to me and to you right now. I'm like, bro, as a grown woman right now, if I ever heard a man tell someone else that he was trying to save me for later, I would block you on everything instantly because who do you think you are? But I remember I was just like, I kind of like gave up on the crush at that point, but I was just like, oh, okay. The N word is a universal experience now, isn't it? Y'all, I remember getting looked at as the angry black woman way too often when I would call people out on this. Like, y'all, I remember I was cool with this guy who was like Asian and he was trying to make beats and rap. And one time I heard a little story and I heard of his song and I heard something I shouldn't have. So I remember at first I tried to keep it classy and I just slid up and I was like, wait, is this you or someone you recorded for? And when he was like, it was me, I was like, what are you doing that? I was like, I don't even hear you speak like that in real life. Mind you, this was another, do y'all ever, this is the thing where what blows me when non-black people try to use AAVE or the N-word or act like all this stuff when I'm like, you're from the suburbs. Just like I'm a suburban black girl. I'm like, do you hear me trying to sound like I'm from Inglewood? I'm from Atlanta. I'm from. Do you hear me trying to sound like that? No, because I'm suburban. Why would I try to be something I'm not? And so I remember I had first tried to like kind of address it calmly, but then I remember he was actively making me angry. And I was like, and then I started like cussing him out. I was like, what are you using that for? Like, you don't speak like that. You don't walk like that. You don't talk like that. Like, what are you doing? I was like, like take it down, like you're stupid, blah blah. And I remember y'all just the way he backtracked when I went from trying to address it nicely to calmly. He was just like, chill, bro, like chill. What you getting so angry for? Like, okay, like like I remember he was just so. I'm like, don't fucking do that. Like this is exactly what I'm talking about. I remember another Asian guy one time. I thought I was cool with him, and then nigga slipped out, and I was just like, why are you saying that? Like that's weird. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, like he was another transfer. He's like, I'm sorry, like I'm just from the Bay Area and that's just how we talk. I That's crazy because I actually don't give a fuck where you're from. I don't give two shit. That's low-key one thing as a black community that I feel like we have to do better as. Why do we give non-black people sometimes so much space to think they're one of us? I'm like, you saying where you're from, I actually don't give two shits. Are you black? Did you live the black experience? Do you get racially profiled as a black person? Okay, that answered all my questions. I don't care if you're hood. I don't care if you grew up with black people. I don't care if you were adopted by black people. I don't give it. I'm like, there's actually nothing in this world that can make me give a fuck. And I feel like a lot of us have to get this way. Like I'm not conforming to anyone like that. And like I said, sometimes I feel like people say like, "Oh, I'm tense because of that" or whatever. But I'm like, actually I'm not, cuz I'm like I'm actually the perfect person to feel this way cuz I'm a black woman who grew up around not a lot of black people who actually had no reason to be acting like that. And like I said, even if you're from the hood, I still don't give two shits. Oh my god, y'all. Another thing I hated about PWI is like, why do I feel like a lot of times during PWI, people loved to pick and choose who they want to call out? Like, I remember one time this white girl had a video on Snapchat where she said the ER. Everybody was mad at her. Everybody was reposting it. Everybody was like, she was like a little model. They were like sending it to her model, get her dropped. But I was like, there would be white girls that I would hear down the halls saying that all the time, and I was like, you guys, you guys never cared about her. I was like, I really hate when people pick and choose because guess what? I don't. These hands are rated E for everybody. Let's get into hair. Y'all, why did I heard this question from non-black people way too often growing up. Why would people always ask me like, "Oh my god, like I'm kind of confused. Why is your hair not curly?" So this is what the stupid people need to understand. Every single black person on this earth, well, normally has curly hair. Just because I have a tight curl pattern, someone has type 4 hair, and you're used to seeing loose curls as a curl, type 4 hair coils are still a curl. Coils are a tighter curl. If you saw a curl chart, if one of these bitches looked up a curl chart, it would be life saving for them. I mean, I'm locked now. I have curly ends. I don't know how much you guys can see, but if you've been on my channel before, you've seen my hair down. I'm a black woman with type 4 hair because, like I shed, I'm a black woman with two black parents. But I don't even want to say that because there's mixed biracial black people who can still have type 4 hair. Like it really doesn't matter. And so I used to get asked this question so many times by non-black people asking why my hair isn't curly because I had type 4 hair because I had a tight curl pattern. And again, it just comes from that stupid stigma. Like y'all know I'm class of 2020, so that was like that 2016, 2017 high school era where light skin mixed was like going all over Instagram. Oh my god, everybody wanted loose curls and stuff. So I'm like, you see these mixed ambiguous people all have a looser curl pattern, and like because I'm black, but you think because I'm light skinned like my hair should look like that too. Like that sounds like a you problem. And also, why are you even in my black business? Don't don't worry about my hair. Don't worry about my hair. One privilege, one black privilege that is so fun in this world and growing up PWI is a lot of times y'all know like um girls are really scared of black women for some reason, and I'm also a tall black woman with an RBF. So I remember there's been too many times like when I would be in class with random girls that I thought was cool with, and like the n-word would slip out, and like when they would say it, I would just tighten up and be like, what was that? Like, huh? What'd you just say? And they would repeat the statement without the n-word. Like, but I like that. I like that. Like, keep them on their toes. Keep you a little scared. Cause, like, what? Yeah, exactly. Oh, I didn't think I heard that. I didn't think I heard that. Like, that's one fun thing I really enjoy about being a tall black woman is intimidating them. Cause I'm like, yeah, they would literally say the statement, take it right out. As soon as I said, what was that? I like that. Like, I'm establishing dominance and letting you know I'm not the one. I backtracked a little bit, but speaking of hair, also y'all, I remember this one time at school in high school, I got petted like a dog by a grown ass woman. Y'all, it was some staff. Like it was like a lady who she wasn't even a teacher or anything. Like I knew she wasn't a teacher. She was just some kind of staff. And I remember I was walking, I was just minding my black business, walking to school, and she actively started talking to me like about my hair. Like at first complimenting it and stuff, and oh, it's really beautiful. How long did it take? And I saw a hand going like this. Y'all, this was literally like a horror movie. Like she did that, and like literally to get away from her, I just started walking faster, and she still had a little hold on my braid. Like it was like a all the way until I got away. I'm like, to me, that's just sad. Okay, kids, you're in elementary, middle school, even. Kids can have some ignorance. They can grow out of it. They can learn how to say and the right way to approach things. I'm like, y'all, this was a grown white lady. She was definitely over 40, petting a child. Like I said, not even anything to do with me being black. I'm like, why are you in my why are you in a child's personal bubble that you don't know, and this is our first time speaking? And last but not least, I think another thing that like a lot of just girls in general can relate to, growing up, being baddies, especially out of high school. I'm like, y'all, again, how my boyfriend made that comment the other day about like, oh, I know you had dudes like hitting up your line of high school. I'm like, no, I didn't, especially not my type. Okay, especially not my type. And like I said, I understand types can change as you get older, um and like you're more educated and stuff, y'all. I remember there's at least 3 men from high school I can remember who were black men in high school who, thank God, all of them I did not find attractive in the slightest. But who I remember I used to see around school. I used to see around school. They didn't really hang out. I didn't even really see them in proximity with any of the black women at our school. Like they would just be in their own world. If I saw them dating or with girls, it would never be with anyone who looked like me. But like I said, I wouldn't even check for them anyway. So and I also used to like hear comments like y'all know in high school, like when you're in like primary school, I don't a lot of guys can be like really impressionable. You know, people don't want to find their own peace of mind. They want to like what their friends like or whatever. And I remember like it was clear. What I'm trying to say is it was clear that they weren't checking for me and they probably weren't checking for anyone who looked like me. But like I said, all these men were a three, so I didn't give a fuck. I can name at least three men from high school that I remember after high school. Follow me. You follow me. You're spamming my pictures. You're sliding up on my story. And you ain't get one follow back. Cause what? I'm the same fly, hot, baddie. Just kidding. I'm I'm really not. But it's just funny. It's just funny, like no, in high school, how you wanted to hang with the group and act like you don't mess with people who look like me, and then now after high school, you're on my like, what happened? What happened? And like I said, I think this is like happens to like a lot of like black girls in general, you know, guys who used to like act funny about us later, but just girls in general too. Why do men do that? Like you people girl I hear so many girls say like guys who used to bully them or whatever back in high school, after high school, all of a sudden they want that. Like what happened?
Fire, just like this pussy.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening to me yap. I hope you guys laughed a little bit about the traumatics. But yeah, I just want to talk about this Black History Month. What? And just like for awareness, I mean, this might be shocking to a lot of people, but to any other people of color, black people who grew up PWI, or who just lived the experience, because ignorance is everywhere, it might not be shocking to you. But I know a lot of people can relate to this. And a lot of people, even if they can't relate to this, they know exactly what I mean. So yeah, that's my life. As much as I can laugh about it now, it's just so funny how it's like I was so numb to those things back then, y'all. And I just feel like again, this is I mean, anyone can probably relate to this point. It's just like a beautiful thing to grow up and use your voice and find your own opinions and find your own tolerance, cuz let some of these things happen today. Like what? But also I'm like, yeah, I was so numb and like it's just weird how I process things like this as an adult versus when I was younger. And yeah, it's all about the process. This is why I can make this video today. But to any other young black women, women of color, just anyone experiencing something like this. I mean, y'all know my focus, but just like young people in general, just remember to use your voice. You're not weird for being bothered by things. You're not weird by sticking up for yourself. It doesn't matter what the majority thinks. If something bothers you, it bothers you. If you want to talk about it, like, don't, like I feel like in high school and when you're younger, it's so much easier to be afraid of being perceived because like primary school is so clicky. But yeah, let this video be a lesson to use your voice and stand in your truth no matter what it's about. Okay, if you're a black person like me, if you're a different ethnicity and people like to say funny stuff, if you're a young queer person full of a homophobic school or community, use your voice and don't back down unless it's for your safety. Okay, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching another video. Please, please, please follow my new Instagram where I am very much more active than my other Instagram. Okay, because like I said, the TikTok man got stuff sticky, a little sticky, and yeah, go ahead and follow that. If you want to hear more content. As always, more content to come. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.